Going all in for me as an adoptee was an all or nothing proposition. The way I saw it is I would go all in, and then the payoff would be that I would finally feel that I belonged, that my whole world made sense to me. The problem was I was playing with other people's cards, and I was playing by other people's rules. Hi, everybody. Kevin Barheit here. When I thought that I was playing a winning hand, I really wasn't. Because the issue was I was actually playing with a stacked deck of cards. And the cards never made sense at all to me. Kevin, you are a good boy. Kevin, you're a perfect boy. You're a perfect child. The problem was that I never felt good enough and I never felt perfect enough. And then I was told, Kevin, you're lucky. You're actually a gift. You're a blessing from God. You are prayers answered. But that definition of luck didn't really sit right with me even as a kid. The idea of being lucky that I was wanted. But how could I be lucky when I wasn't wanted by my own mother? And the understanding of being a gift, okay, if I'm a gift, then I was given. But wasn't I a gift to the giver? So didn't the giver give away the gift? What does that make me? Regifted? And if I was that blessing from God and a prayer answered from St. Anne, then whose prayers were answered? Whose blessing was that for? Was it for me? Was it for my parents? Was it for my birth mother? Was that what my birth mother prayed for? That she would conceive me and carry me and give birth to me and then give me away? Were those her prayers answered? Is that the blessing that she got? And then I was told that I should be grateful. Because if I'm ungrateful, then I can't be perfect. And if I'm ungrateful, then I can't be good. And how could I be ungrateful that I was a blessing and a prayer answered and a gift? What was wrong with me? What was wrong with me? And as an adoptee, I thought that everything was wrong with me, when what was wrong was that I had the wrong deck of cards. And as an adult, many years after I grappled with this, many years after I struggled with not knowing who my mother was, not knowing why I was adopted, not knowing why I was given up and what was wrong with me, I had to understand I had to choose my own cards. I had to dictate what my deck was. And if I was going to go all in, those cards better be good and that deck better be stacked in my favor. And once I stopped playing the game, I realized there are a whole bunch of people that wanted me to keep playing. For some of us, that might be our parents, our adoptive parents, maybe our siblings. For me, it was my adoptive mother and father. It was also some extended family members, also people that were friends, people that I worked with, people that cared about me and knew me. That was their game. That was their deck of cards. Those were their cards to play. And those were the cards they needed to play to have an understanding of how they fit into this world. Once I took the time to step back from the game, it allowed me to really look at what cards I wanted to deal for myself. So I was going to start first by accepting I'm not perfect, but I'm perfectly me. I'm perfect to look at. I'm perfect to listen to. I love the sound of my own voice, even though it creaks sometimes. I love my laugh, even though it sounds like a bark. I like the shine in my eyes. I like the way my ears are shaped. I like the way my body pudges out in some of the wrong places, but also feels strong, feels fit, feels capable. I like that my mother made me. I like that I was brought into this world. I like that she held me, at least hopefully for one moment, before she let me go. I like that I was raised by two loving parents, even though they made a million mistakes like all parents do. But I like that I can be myself without them. I like that I can be my own man. I like that I can be their son, but even more importantly, I can be the son I want to be. And as my new cards added up, I started to realize this wasn't about what I had accomplished in life, who I was going to be, how many people loved me or knew me, or how famous I became. This was about me being okay with who I am. I'm good enough. I'm good enough just the way I am. Not only that, I am cared for. I am lovable. I'm someone that my children do want to call dad. I'm someone that my grandchildren want to call papa. I'm someone that my wife wants to call her husband, the love of her life, her soulmate. And as the deck grew and grew, I realized that these cards were the cards that defined me as I wanted to define me. But I had one more set of cards that I needed. And those were with my higher power. That I was created by a higher power. That I was loved and wanted and cherished by my higher power. That I was carried and that I was helped and that I was worthy and that I was wanted. Always and forever. And these are the cards and this is the deck that I can go all in on. This is when I'm ready to go all in. When I'm playing my deck of cards. When I'm playing my cards that I've defined rather than the cards that others have given me. Rather than the stacked deck that never worked for me. That never made sense. That never defined me quite the way I knew I needed to be defined. As an adoptee, I felt lost. I felt confused. I felt unwanted, unloved, unworthy, and of very little and low value. And over the years, many things happened that made that even harder, made that even worse. And my struggles may be different than yours, but the choice that I made is the same choice any of us can make. I'm going to play the game with my cards, with my deck, the way I've defined myself. And as I put my new cards on the table, I did so with confidence that I could go all in. I could go all in with these cards, and I could go all in because I was going all in for me, with me, and with the love and support of the people who knew me and cared for me, and the love and support of my higher power. And my confidence then was that the payoff was already clear. The payoff wasn't what I was going to get back. The payoff was that I had defined the cards themselves. See, because I might not have been dealt a winning hand, but I can deal myself a winning hand. I might have been given a stacked deck, but I can throw that deck out and I can make a new deck. Defining my own cards and creating my own stacked deck for myself, for my betterment, for my own good, was a start. It allowed me to go all in for me, but it was just the beginning. Over the next couple of weeks, I will go through how I made a plan and how I kept that plan flexible to this day. Wait, hold on one second before you go. Please make sure you like the video. Please make sure that you subscribe if you haven't. Leave some comments below and stay tuned. There's a little sneak peek coming your way. Until then, see you next week. Take care.
It's so interesting because one remembers when you're this young and formative, anything's possible in the world, right?
That's right.
So, I mean,
You're
why
still in
not?
diapers.
Yeah, I'm still in diapers.
You're still
right?
in diapers. Anything can happen.
Can happen. You know, somebody could just walk in one day. You maybe in your little mind, you're thinking, well, if you're my brother, you know, why you if as long as an adult didn't walk in the house, it was fine. One doesn't know how kids are made at this point.
Right. We're not trying to figure those things out. You have blocks. I want blocks.
Yeah.
Give me blocks.
Give me blocks. Cool. Here you go. It's your birthday. Is it? Oh, okay, great. It's my birthday. I got a gift.
Candle, cake, good.
Sorry for the silly tangent, but
silly tangents are necessities.
Oh, they really are.
Yes,
they really are. But as far as knowing that I was adopted, I remember very vividly. I was 5 years old. My mother sat me down. She had a note, and she told me, you know what? You're really lucky because you have two moms. And my little 5-year-old mind was kind of, I have two moms. But she presented it to me in such a positive way. I was like, this has got to be good information, right? And she said, so you can ask me any questions you want, and then you can read the letter. And then after you read that, we'll talk about it. I remember going, okay, two moms. Okay, let me just read this letter. And I read the letter, and I can remember even at 5 years old that the letter seemed very like childlike. You know, it was almost like not an adult didn't write this letter to me.
You could have written the letter.
You're like I could have written a letter.